deep within the damp, silent jungles of Central America, where mist crawls over the ground and ancient drums still echo through the caves, lies a world humans once feared to name, a place where rivers flow with blood and the lords of death wait smiling. Would you dare to step into the Mayan hell? This is Xibalba, the Mayan hell. In the damp, shadowed jungles of the ancient Maya civilization, where stone silhouettes crawl across the earth like living creatures and the red light of dusk spills upon the leaves like blood, lies an epic tale. The story of Xibalba, the underworld of the Maya, a hellish realm of terror and mystery described in the sacred text Popol Vuh, the book of the Council of the Maya. Imagine a subterranean world filled with rivers of scorpions, blood and pus, where the lords of death wait with demonic laughter for their victims. This tale is not merely one of horror, but a powerful symbol of the cycle of life, death that leads to rebirth, like the rising of the sun after the darkest night. Our heroes, the legendary twins, Hunahpu, the skilled hunter, and Xbalanque, the hidden jaguar, embark on a perilous journey to seek vengeance and restore balance to the world. Drawn from ancient sources such as the Popol Vuh, written in the 16th century, this myth continues to inspire, a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, the promise of rebirth still endures. It all begins with two brothers, Hunahpu, father of the hero twins, and Hunahpu, their uncle. These two brothers, who are central figures in Maya mythology, were passionate players of pits, the sacred Maya ball game, an ancient sport similar to a form of ritualized football, played with a heavy rubber ball and symbolizing the eternal struggle between life and death. They played on a court built above real caves in what is now Guatemala and Belize, places the Maya believed to be the gateways to Xibalba, the sound of the ball striking. The stone walls were so loud that it echoed down into the depths of the underworld, disturbing the lords of death. In the dark halls of Xibalba, Hun came, 1 death, and Vucub came, 7 death. The principal lords grew furious. They sent bat-like messengers to summon the brothers to a ball game in the underworld. Unaware that this was a trap, the brothers accepted the challenge and set off on their journey. The path to Xibalba was perilous. They had to cross rivers of blood, whose stench burned the skin, rivers of scorpions, whose stings felt like fire, and crossroads of confusion, where cold winds misled and scattered the souls of travelers. When the brothers arrived in Xibalba, the lords of death mocked them with a cruel trick. They placed 2 wooden mannequins adorned with jewels before them. Mistaking the dummies for the true lords, the brothers bowed in respect, only to be ridiculed for their foolishness. Then the real trials began, 6 deadly houses, each a chamber of torment. The dark house, a place of total blackness, where no light existed and the darkness itself seemed alive, suffocating the soul. The cold house, filled with freezing winds and hail that shattered bones and numbed the spirit. The jaguar house, crawling with starving jaguars, whose glowing eyes circled their prey in the gloom. The bat house, swarming with bloodthirsty bats, their piercing screeches tearing through the air and rending flesh. The razor house, alive with moving blades that sliced through the air like sentient swords. The hot house, engulfed in flames that did not burn the body, but scorched the soul instead. The brothers failed these trials. The lords of death captured and sacrificed them. Hunahpu was beheaded, and his head was hung upon a calabash tree as a grim warning to all who would dare challenge the rulers of Xibalba. But the story did not end there. The severed head of Hunahpu still held great magic. It bore fruit. One day, Xquick, meaning blood of the moon, the daughter of one of the lords of death, came beneath the tree. The head spat into her hand, a magical act that caused her to conceive. Terrified of her father's wrath, Xquick fled from Xibalba, escaping to the world above. There, She found refuge in the home of the elderly divine couple, Xbalanque and Xbalanque, the grandmother and grandfather of creation, who would later become the grandparents of the hero twins. At first, Xbalanque doubted her and set her a test: to gather corn from a magical garden where none seemed to grow. When Xbalanque succeeded, the goddess accepted her. In time, Xbalanque gave birth to twin sons, Hunahpu, the skillful hunter with the bow, and Xbalanque, the hidden jaguar gifted with stealth and mystery. The twins were clever and powerful from childhood. Hunahpu was a skilled hunter, while Xbalanque moved like a jaguar, silent and unseen in the shadows. One day, they discovered their father's ball game equipment and began to play. The echoing thud of the rubber ball once again angered the lords of Xibalba. But before descending into the underworld, the twins had to cleanse the world above. Their first enemy was Vukub, the proud false god, a great bird spirit with jeweled eyes and teeth of gold, who boasted that he was the sun and the moon and ruled over the world. With a blowgun, the twins shot him and broke his jaw, stripping him of his false glory. Then came his sons, Xibalba, the maker of mountains, who shaped the peaks with his bare hands, and Xbalanque, the earth shaker, who caused earthquakes with his steps. The twins defeated them through cunning, tricking Xibalba into eating a magical crab and trapping him beneath a mountain, and intoxicating Xbalanque with a poisoned bird before burying him alive. These victories proved the twins' divine strength and prepared the world for the greater challenge to come. The Lords of Death sent another invitation. The twins, fully aware of their father's fate, proceeded with caution. With the help of mosquitoes and ants, they secretly learned the true names of the 12 lords of Xibalba, so they would not be deceived as their father had been. Among these rulers were Xiquiripat, flying scab, and Cuchamaquic, gathered blood, bringers of blood diseases. Ahalpu, pus demon, and Ahalgana, jaundice demon, who cause swelling and decay. Chamiabak, bone staff, and Chamiaholam, skull staff, who turn flesh into skeletons. Ahalmez, sweep demon, and Ahaltakob, stab demon, killers lurking in filth. Ijik, wing, and Patan, packstrap, who killed with coughing fits of blood. The path was the same: rivers of blood and scorpions, crossroads of deception, and caverns like the jaws of monsters. Once in Xibalba, the twins faced the same 6 deadly houses of trial, but this time they triumphed through intelligence and magic. In the House of Darkness, they lit cigars to create light. In the House of Cold, they conjured a magical fire. In the House of Jaguars, they fed the beasts' bones to pacify them. In the House of Bats, they defended themselves with blades. In the House of Razors, they enchanted the blades to sleep. In the House of Fire, they passed unharmed through the flames. The lords, humiliated, cheated during the sacred ball game. They sent out a razor-edged ball, which struck and wounded Hunahpu. Here the cycle of death and rebirth began. The twins, in a clever act of deception, volunteered to be sacrificed. They leapt into the fire, their bodies burned, and their bones were scattered into the river. But their magic endured. 5 days later, they rose from the waters as fish, then transformed back into human form, now with greater powers than before. Disguised as ragged wanderers and magicians, they returned to Xibalba, performing wondrous miracles and illusions. One would sacrifice the other and bring him back to life, even reviving animals and plants before the astonished eyes of the Lords of Death. The Lords of Death were fascinated and said, "Try it on us." The twins sacrificed Hunahpu and Xbalanque, but this time did not bring them back to life. The remaining lords, terrified and defeated, surrendered, swearing never again to torment humankind. Having avenged their father, the twins restored the remains of Hunahpu and his brother, then ascended to the heavens, Hunahpu becoming the sun. and Xbalanque the moon, or the planet Venus in some versions. This triumph prepared the world for the creation of humanity. In the next part of the Popol Vuh, the gods fashion mankind from maize, the sacred symbol of life, because the twins had overcome death itself. In Mayan cosmology, death is not the end, but a vital phase in the cycle of existence. Night gives way to day, and winter to spring. This story is not merely terrifying, but filled with hope. Even in the darkness of Xibalba, the light of rebirth shines. Can you imagine striking the pit's ball and hearing the echo of Xibalba beneath the earth? This ancient legend still lives on, and in the forests of Guatemala, locals whisper that the stone shadows still move. They say that on rainy nights in Guatemala, if you listen closely to the wind, you can still hear the laughter of Xibalba's lords. A reminder that death always waits, even when you forget it. If you dare to walk beyond the gates of darkness. Like, comment, and subscribe, for we've only just stepped into the realm of the death gods.